Okay, I'm back. Anyway, number 12 is, which of the following assignments seems to have been designed to help your research skills? Now, what's researching? Researching is any process of looking stuff up, whether it's in the library, whether it's in a magazine, whether it's on TV even. Technically, if you watch a program that has to do with your speech, you can cite it and use it. An interview is considered research. Doing a Google search on someone you just met, that's also a form of research. So the answer to that is not the Beep Game. The Beep Game is a delivery thing. It's not the Grammy Awards. It's not special occasion speech. But the Miss Sally quiz was designed to make you get in there, get Google, whatever source you have, whatever search engine that you're familiar with, you type in the name and then you come up with all sorts of facts and stuff. So that's what Miss Sally quiz was all about. Now, moving to which of the following was not designed to help grow your speech critiquing skills, the answer to that is the Grammy Awards. The Grammy Awards had nothing to do with critiquing. It had to do with opening the video camera, getting some video time, etc., sort of loosening you up for the semester ahead. And actually, some of you were really creative about it. We had Bill Clinton, we had Miss America, and we had all sorts of authors and rock stars and football players that had 2-week parties or 2-month parties, etc. So that was really fun, I thought. That's like one of my favorite things in the whole semester, actually. We should do it again. But the other ones, analyze this. Remember the one about surfing rocks. Surfing is a good thing. I love to surf. It was badly structured, and it didn't make sense. The delivery was off, etc. So that one was speech critiquing. The Beep Game, again, you found your CNN video, your Ellen, whatever her name is, video. You critiqued it. And the other one, your sample speech about my best friend. Remember the one with the little critiquing bubbles where I kept saying, spit it out already and stop being all that stuff. Those are speech critiquing, and the more you watch with a critical eye, and critical doesn't mean that you're being mean, like, she's a horrible speaker and we hate her. It's not like that. It's just, okay, she needs to stop saying or he needs to have more eye contact with the audience, or whatever it is. So every time you do that, you are learning what goes into making a good speaker, but it also allows you to help others when they're giving speeches as well. And not just speeches, but presentations at work, or even public speaking, like deciding where you want to go for dinner. Okay, match each element, blah, 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 the potential problem. I'm just going to read you the answers and explain them instead of doing like ABC, because that'll be confusing for me. Okay, sponsorship. Now, sponsorship is like, let's say FSU sponsored a study that said, does wearing burgundy make you seem more forgetful? I don't know. And let's say they had a stake in burgundy clothing dye or something. Now, you can't take their webpage or their research and be like, oh, okay, well, burgundy clothing dye is bad because FSU said so. They have a stake in it. So sponsorship, you see who it is. If Budweiser said, if they did a study, or the smoking, if Philip Morris did a study that said smoking doesn't cause cancer, and you know very well that it does, and that if they proved that it did cause cancer, they would lose money, then obviously the sponsorship thing would get in the way. Recency, the answer was, could something better be out there now? And that refers to the fact that a lot of times a source from, let's say, last year would be, it would be, I'm not going to say better than something from, let's say, 1966 or something. Maybe in 1966, the study done then was the thing that put it on the map. And there's a lot to be said for the classic ones, the ones that are, they have lots of endurance, and they're just, it's still as true then as it was now. But at the same time, you have to watch out because, for example, 30 years ago, they didn't have arthroscopic surgery for your knee or whatever, and now they do. So someone who's trained 30 years ago and someone who's trained now, obviously, you see as technology grows, you wouldn't ask your mom, your great-grandmother, how do I fix my computer? Because that's not something she grew up with. Maybe you have a really clever great-grandmother, though. More power to her. Okay, authorship. That one, the answer was it could be a 13-year-old who writes exceptionally well but doesn't have any official sources, and that's going to the fact that anyone honestly can write anything they want on the internet these days, and just because someone said something doesn't mean that they didn't copy it from Wikipedia. For that matter, Wikipedia can be people can erase stuff, they could change things, they could be mischievous, etc., etc. So just watch out for that. And then the other one's forgetting your tripod. That means you have a shaky video, and that happened in the first 2 little baby speeches, but it's gotten better, thank God, in y'all's. Then we have light source behind you. If you have a light source behind you but not in front of you, then your video can become very grainy or very dark, and the picture looks kind of like just muddy because you see all the little dots or pixels if it's video. Using more than one sheet of notes. I think we all remember my... Sorry. Mary had a little lamb, and her fleece was white as snow, blah, blah, blah. See, it's distracting, and if you have one, I mean, yes, you could still fidget with it, but having more than one is even worse. Okay, and then reading manuscripts verbatim, that could be Nancy Drew's Guide to Life, which is a very important thing to have in your office. A lot of people think that it's acceptable to read. Determination and spunk can elicit admiration from many arenas, even from the criminal element, the Phantom of Pine Hill. You can't look at your thing the whole time. People are going to go to sleep. You need to, it's like they tell you that kids with ADD, you have to like look them in the face and make sure that they heard you, which is, I heard that last week at this interesting online class. Anyway, no one's saying you have to be, you can never really be yourself and let your hair down if you're sporting a wig. No one said you have to keep looking up like a psychopath, but at the very least, be like, stick to simple fare and favorite recipes when unexpectedly cooking dinner for a group. So you're balancing the reading and the accuracy with the looking at people and making them feel connected, because if you don't, then you're just going to have an audience that fell asleep and you'll be like, oh no. Okay, which of the following question types is recommended? And the answer for that is a neutral question. A leading question is, so how do you feel about the horrible landslide election that let the pesticides go in the water? You're putting words in the person's mouth, and then the quality of their answer is going to be a little different. But if it's neutral, or that's kind of like a leading, that's also like loaded. And also, asking things you could find out yourself without the interview, it's kind of like, why would you ask someone who's, I'm not going to say a big shot, but like, if you're going to go up to a policeman and be like, can I get a ticket if I don't wear my seatbelt? You might say, what was the name of the law that was passed to make the seatbelt be mandatory or whatever. But if you said, oh, can I get a ticket if I'm speeding? It's like everyone in the world knows that, basically, unless you're from Egypt, in which case you just hand them a dollar bill and you're good to go. But you didn't hear that from me. So yes, neutral questions, you want to phrase it as neutrally as possible. That doesn't mean that they're going to stick to neutrality. They could be very biased, and you yourself could be very biased as well, but yeah, that. Okay, your citation, blah, blah. What citation have you used? It is the APA style. It's the one that has, I'm going to just use mine, Bishai, S, 2004. And then you say the title, etc. Anytime you have the last name and then and then the date afterwards, then that would be APA. MLA is a little bit different, and it's important to, more importantly than choosing one of them, is choosing one and sticking to it, because a lot of times people will do 1, 2, 3 MLA, and then the fourth one is APA, and that's just beastly. By the way, you might want to see www.easybib.com. I'm pretty sure it's .com, not .org, but that can format your stuff for you, and it's pretty good. Then, let's see, we have just a few more, and we have only a few minutes, 1 minute left. Which of the following is not true? The answer is, you should always turn in your preliminary bibliography. That's false. Your preliminary bibliography might have 50 things on it, but if you only use 6 of them, then you hand in the one with 6 on it, not the one with 50 on it. Which of the following is unacceptable to include in a speech? And the answer is designed deception, because there's no such thing as that. I just made that up. The other answers were hypothetical examples, brief examples, and extended examples. I'm racing the clock now. Let's see. Which of the following examples did Miss Sally use in the video lecture? And it was the one about Northwest Airlines and the Caesar salad with olives. Which of the following is not true about using statistics in your speech? Your information can't be questioned. Cannot meaning. And that's because actually, it can be questioned, because as you remember from your beautiful book, anyone can lie with statistics, and it's really easy, and they even have a book on how to do that. Well, it's almost 10 minutes, so I'm going to get one more video. Back in a flash.